The ground is muddy, and with every step, your boots sink deep into the mud, making every step arduous. The mist that settles around you little less than a mile back obscures your vision in every direction, and the air is humid and pungent with the smell of muddy earth. But not ripe with decay, as the name of this particular swamp would have you believe. About 20 feet ahead of you, crouched low as she can, is your ranger, and just behind her, the thief. The two of them have their blades drawn and labor along as silently as the bog will permit. You and your other party members are unusually silent, as if the ominous name of this place is floating above you like the sword of Damocles. Your focus comes back as the ranger begins to ascend slightly up a hillock in the marsh. Then you seem to focus in on the silence. It really is too quiet here. No sounds of birds, insects, or other fauna. Not even the sound of wind. It's as if Agadi herself isn't welcome here. You see the ranger straighten as they crest the Namasi knoll and stand as if to get her bearings. She surveys the area as the rest of you close into her position. The only sound to be heard is the plops of your boots coming free from the mire. As you slowly step closer through the difficult terrain, the earth and smell of the mist sours and twists to the rancid stench of compost. It happens very quickly as you close the distance. And that's when you hear the ranger cry out as she's taken off her feet. In a flash, the thief is at your side as the heap she was upon begins to rumble and shake. Roll for initiative. Hey there, creatures, and welcome to Encounter This, a podcast exploration of the creatures from Dungeons & Dragons and the lore that surrounds them.
Hello there, creatures, and welcome to another episode of Encounter This. I am, of course, your co-host Freeman Man-Thing Easton, and my partner in crime will, of course, be James the Heap Kid, and he will be bringing us through the Shambling Mounds of D&D in the Monster Manual on page 270. And I can't help but think that the nicknames you've given us this time, James, are our professional wrestling nicknames. Man Thing and the Heap. We're a duo.
We would. I would love that. We'd have some problems with copyrights, I think, but above and beyond that, it would be fun. This was a real fun episode for me.
Oh yeah.
Regardless of some of the technical issues I had off of mic, I really had a good time researching this one. I really like Shambling Mounds.
Okay, cool. It's been I as soon as you said you were going to do this one, I could picture it in my head, just like the aesthetic of it, and I knew that I had read it somewhere at some point in the past, but I don't remember anything really about it, especially mechanically or lore wise.
Right. Just
that and correct me if I'm wrong. They are like viney root piles of dead and or living vegetation that shamble around and punch you or something.
Nope, you nailed it.
Nice. Okay, thanks for listening, guys. This has been Encounter This. We'll see you next week on our wrestling podcast.
We hope you enjoyed 2020 or 2021, and we will catch you in 2022. Yeah, this is exactly what that is. They're these large heaps of rotting animated vegetation. They result from a lightning strike or fey magic, just straight up invigorating, with air quotes, just a normal ass swamp plant. I don't know what invigorating is meant to mean in this particular context, but that's a direct quote from the Monster Manual. I think they're just like implying galvanism really indirectly, but it's fun.
Yeah, it's invigorating. I mean, it's just flavor text for like probably giving life too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that after this plant gets hit with this lightning or fey magic, it is then reborn into its second life, and it immediately begins to choke the life out of its surrounding habitat. So once it pulls enough nutrients from the ground and nearby fauna, it will eventually just pull itself up from the soil, no longer needing to rely on roots, and begin to move on.
Okay, so it stays rooted for a while. Upon its sort of invigoration and leeching until it grows strong enough to remove itself. It's kind of cool. I like that.
So there's a level of strength required there.
I almost wonder if like a second strike of lightning or fey magic would cause them to like speed up in that process.
It's possible, but they are really, really rare. The entire reason that most habitats haven't been completely destroyed by Shambling Mounds is because of their rarity.
Okay, fair enough. That makes me wonder what their CR is now. I'm going to keep thinking about it.
Higher than you think, but lower than it should be.
Okay, as per usual. Yeah. At least lately.
They're a nice sweet spot. I really like the creatures. I think the stat block's good.
Cool.
And like we talked about earlier, they are just rotting heaps of animated vegetation, mostly because after the root structure absorbs nutrients from the creatures around it, it will then start to absorb the creatures around into it. So decaying leaves, vines, roots, and other compost. And then it begins to accumulate this detritus and get larger and larger. And the combination of the accumulation of detritus is for absorbing nutrients as well to protect its central root structure.
Okay.
So this central root structure acts as a skeleton, nervous system, and a brain all in one. So they function based on this invigorated root structure.
Okay, it's your word of the day, listeners.
Yeah,
invigorated.
I'm already tired of it.
It's like your protein shake in the morning. How invigorating!
Exactly. And they are half again as tall as a human, so about 1.5 times human height. So around 8 to 9 feet tall, but I guess they can keep growing indefinitely. There wasn't really a cap on it.
Yeah, I was already thinking that. Like that's about the size of a Goliath, maybe slightly larger. They can just continue rolling around, absorbing nutrients. Why not let them grow?
Yeah, so there will be a point of no return. So the reason cells are so small is because the inefficiencies of getting nutrients from the cell wall to the nuclei. So there is a point of diminishing returns, as with everything. So they can only get so large. So I imagine so large is within that 9 to 11 feet tall range, give or take. But
right.
I'm not an ecologist or a botanist, so.
And these things are created by magic, so.
Or just regular ass lightning.
These in fantasy land, yeah. Or that's true, yeah.
And sometimes when they're facing defeat, it will feign death, collapse, and then its root structure will re-embed itself in the ground. And then, if not subsequently killed immediately after that, the root system begins to regrow its body before setting out again.
That's great. I love creatures like that.
Yeah, I really love that too. That is, spoiler, not reflected in the 5e stat block, but that's a pretty easy homebrew right there.
Yeah.
And then a little bit about their ecology. Obviously, they're swampy creatures. They move aimlessly throughout swamps and marshes and rainforests because they don't really have a higher brain function or a like a thought pattern. It's just move, consume, absorb, live. Like they're more like insects than they are like mammals. But the environments it tends to favor with these swamps and marshes tend to be bleak, dark, and dismal environments, to the point where I think the monster manual refers to them as bleak swamps, dismal marshes, and dark rainforests. Like they really, really just hit you with those adjectives for no reason at all.
Yeah, I mean, dark I get because maybe it's like a thick forest canopy, but bleak and dismal. According to whom or what perspective exactly? Like, is it an evil swamp or is it just really foggy and stinky?
Well, we actually have two examples of bleak swamps here. The first is on Faerun. It's the Mere of Dead Men. And the second is the Vast Swamp of Cormyr. They're very, very bleak, very dark swamps. And the Mere of Dead Men is known for its, dead men.
Copious amounts of corpses in the muskeg below.
Exactly. And they can even be found in the sewer systems of larger cities. Like it's really easy eats, lots of room to move around. Specifically in Waterdeep, they've been mentioned.
Okay, yeah. Waterdeep comes up a lot.
It's kind of the city right now.
Yeah.
And that is directly from City of Splendors. So that's an old reference.
Sure.
If they don't have food, they can lie dormant for days and just shed off some of that extra compost after they pulled all the nutrients out of it. And they are completely omnivorous. They will consume any organic matter in its path, be it plants or animals that it's engulfed. Since they're so big and lumbering, they don't pursue creatures as opposed to just bed themselves down and wait for fauna to come to it, where it will then grab and consume.
Okay.
And we can see this in some of the artwork, specifically in the 5e artwork. You can actually see like a human being in the Shambling Mound.
Shit, look at that.
Yeah.
It's just reaching. Oh my god, let me out.
Yeah, the 3D artwork's a little unintuitive. You don't really know what you're looking at. It kind of looks like a pine cone with vines growing out of it.
Yeah.
And it also doesn't look particularly sizable in that depiction.
Yeah, you don't get much scale on that. I guess there is a tree behind it, but even that tree is kind of bent and looks a bit short.
In the 2E art, it looks like a troll, but every time I look at it, I just see a green elf.
Yeah, it looks like a mossy troll or something. Yeah, very much more humanoid looking.
Yeah, definitely, and it does have that like that triangle shaped face like Elf did.
I could see it.
And then the 1E art is kind of just looks like a swamp monster with a root for a nose.
What's that? Is that what's the ghillie suit? Looks like he's wearing a ghillie suit.
It does, yeah. But as we go forward, I want you to keep that depiction in particular in mind. The 1E depiction.
Yeah, okay. The nose on that one though is the thing that stands out the most. If you took that nose from the 1E and put it on the 2E, it would be Elf.
Oh
Green
yeah,
Elf.
yeah, for sure.
For anyone listening that's not sure on that reference, we're talking about Elf, like from the sitcom. He's like the puppet character, not an elf.
Alien life form.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot that's what it stood for. Yeah. It's kind of the 1E's a little bit, it's almost like another Hanna-Barbera look like we had previously.
And again, hold on to that visage because that'll come up very, very soon here.
Okay.
But that is really it for the D&D lore. The only other little bit is that it's said that the locations it calls home are usually eerily quiet because of the flora and fauna that it has devoured. So if you wanted to foreshadow a shambling mound being in like a swamp that is just dead quiet would be a good thematic and...
right, like being in a place like that that's so overrun by things like at least flora, it's like there's no sounds of bugs, no sounds of birds, no sounds of bats, no sounds of anything. Like, that's weird.
Yeah, and it's only due to its speed and relative rarity that it doesn't take over ecosystems.
Gotcha.
We have one fun fact here. In the book Cormyr, Tearing of the Weave, a group of lizard folk used dead animal carcasses to lure a shambling mound to their lair, where they used it as both a warden and a waste disposal.
Okay. Yeah. Sweet. That's awesome. I've heard of creatures, various other creatures being used as waste disposals. I think, I don't know if they're in 5e, but Pathfinder has Otyugs, I think it's called. I don't know how you say it, but yeah, they just basically eat anything, eat garbage. They love rotten food or something like that. I'm pretty sure it's that creature. Yeah, and I've read things here and there over the years where they've been used as waste disposal and they get trapped essentially, and then just some underground crew of some kind just throws their waste down there to keep it alive and not have to worry about it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's it's cool. I like it. I love the idea of a dungeon having like a cycle.
Yeah. I would imagine that, like, do you think like it's more likely that the lizard folk? You said they lured one to their lair. Okay, specifically. Yep. I like the idea of like someone being somewhere and like they're trying to find a hideout and then they come across this shambling mound and trap it where it's at, and then they're like, okay, well, I guess this is where camp is. This is where home base is now. Right. Too valuable to avoid, and they build their lair around it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I like that.
But that's it for D&D, listeners. They've been around since first edition, but there's not, it's a plant monster. There's not a lot here. In previous editions, it's about Common and Sylvan, but in 5th edition, there are no languages to speak of. So
okay,
we have a tenuous amount of cultural lore here. This is for those of you who know me, probably why I was very excited to do this creature. I love the Shambling Mound. I think it's a really cool creature mechanically, but the cultural lore here is very significant. The first time in cultural lore we encounter a plant creature. It is in 1942 in a Hillman comic book, and the creature is called the Heap.
Okay.
And he does have that big, long, root-like nose from the first edition one.
Yeah, it's almost like the proboscis of a mosquito, but like hanging limply.
Exactly.
It looks like it would sway around a bit.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it does. So the Heap is kind of danced in and out of comic history from the 1940s. There was an interpretation of it from Mad Magazine. There was it was picked up by Eclipse in the late 80s or in the early 80s, and it's kind of been around. There's a version of it in Spawn. Like it's a very more universal creature. But this particular version was created by Harry Stein and Mort Leave, the first swamp monster and creatures, and it debuted in Skywolf Comics. So there's not much to tell about it.
Cool.
So our next creature is The Creeping Terror. So this is a movie written, directed, and starring Vic Savage. And it was made famous by Mystery Science Theater 3000. And this is from 1964. So it's kind of become a cult classic.
Oh, yeah, look at that guy. He looks like a really, really rudimentary version of an ent.
Yeah, it's like a Power Rangers villain wearing a rubber tree mask.
Yeah, and even the tree kind of looks like a mustache, like the way the bark is kind of carved. Yeah. That's hilarious.
Yeah, it's that's a fun one. I haven't seen it, but I'm sure it's really good.
Yeah.
The next one on the list is where we start to enter my wheelhouse, and this is from 1971 in May, and this is the Man-Thing from Marvel Comics. So this also has that Heap-esque proboscis swinging nose and the big bushy eyebrows.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that looks awesome.
I'm willing to bet that this is where Gary Gygax got it from.
Fair enough.
Yeah, this is created by Stan Lee, Roy Thomas, Jerry Conway, and Gray Morrow. And it first appeared in Savage Tales #1. And this is a large, slow-moving humanoid swamp monster that absorbs nutrients from the world around it.
Cool. That is a seriously cool piece of art.
Yeah.
Is that the art from 1971?
No. Oh, Christ.
Oh, okay, I was going to say, holy jeez. They were ahead of their time. Yeah.
It's not a wicked popular villain, but it's made the rounds.
Yeah. It looks awesome.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. Some of these were drawn by really, really impressive people. I don't know who drew that one in particular, but I love that piece of art. I'll find it, and when I throw it up on the Instagram, I'll make sure I credit the artist.
Yeah, that one's a little more into like the wrinkly trunk of an elephant kind of style for that nose portion, but it's really, it's awesome.
Yeah, and the weird thing about this is that Roy Thomas, one of the creators with Stan Lee, was an avid fan of the Heap, and he was known to have like Heap T-shirts and like a Heap poster in his office. So this is
obviously a love letter to yeah,
definitely, absolutely. So this is 1971 in May.
Cool.
So the next one we're going to look at is from 1971 in June. Swamp Thing.
Ah.
So this is like 2 months later. This was created by Len Wein and Bernie Wrightson. This is arguably the most famous swamp creature of all of them in pop culture, other than the creature from the Black Lagoon, but that's clearly more of a fish alien, not a swamp-based plant creature.
Mm-hmm.
Alan Moore did a very successful run on Swamp Thing. We'll have that linked in the show notes. And it spawned a whole shit ton of other media. You know, he's part of the Justice League Dark. He's all over the place.
Okay.
In 1982, Wes Craven did a live-action adaptation. And then there was a sequel to that in 1989. And then in 1990, the same actor who was the Swamp Thing, Dick Doruk, went back and did a long-running 72 fucking episodes TV show. And then in 2019, we had another one on HBO.
Oh, really?
Yeah, with Derek Mears. Yeah, it was quite good.
Oh, crazy. Okay.
Yeah, and he then appeared in a crossover in Arrowverse. But you know, due to his pedigree in pop culture and he's also more nuanced than the Man-Thing by far. Man-Thing is a villain. Swamp Thing is definitely not a villain.
Yeah, I mean, Man-Thing looks like it's operating a little bit more on instinct and need than I mean, judging a book by its cover, than it is like it doesn't appear to be very intelligent.
No,
if not stupid, but just maybe not like cold and calculating per se.
Yeah, and this is this was a man. This is the image that I sent you is Alec Holland. He was a botanist who became the Swamp Thing.
Right. Okay. Yeah. 'Cause he looks very human.
Yeah, he's much more humanoid. But it's really hard to talk about the Man-Thing without bringing up the Swamp Thing, because there was the only reason the Swamp Thing is allowed to exist is because Marvel is too scared to bring a lawsuit against DC, because Marvel knows that if they bring a copyright lawsuit against DC, Eclipse Comics will bring a copyright lawsuit against Marvel. So
right, yeah. That's fair. That's totally fair. So everyone just stay in their place on this one.
Yeah,
it's not popular enough realistically to do either, right?
No, and Swamp Thing's way more popular, but it's there was a speculation of Marvel taking DC to court in I think the early 70s, and Marvel was just like, you know what? Maybe we don't.
Yeah. Some nerd lawyer out there was like, guys, don't. It's bad idea.
Yeah. And there's plenty of articles online comparing these two, or, what have you. Whatever you want to get into. There's lots of information out there between Swamp Thing and Man-Thing, because they were created so closely together. Cool. And I think there was something about one of the guys, Jerry Conway, being a roommate with Len Wein or something like that. There's a lot of crossover and a lot of interdrama, right. But we're talking about New York in the 70s. Of course there was.
Yeah.
7 guys in comic books, give or take. But we'll have the Alan Moore linked in the show notes. I don't think you want to watch either of those movies, so I'm not going to link them. The TV show cannot possibly be good. I'll give you a little. Here's a little something for you. This is what the Swamp Thing looked like in 1982.
Oh, I've definitely seen that before.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's Wes Craven's Swamp Thing, listeners.
It looks more like a statue that's come to life in a swamp.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not really terrible. He looks kind of kind.
The Swamp Thing's...
Looks like he's going to caress me on the cheek and be like, it's okay. I'll bring you back to civilization.
Swamp Thing isn't what you would call a villain. He's just not... He's got his own agenda, and he's very, very serious. This is the Derek Mears version. Much, much better.
Ooh, yeah. Real dark. He's got a tranquilizer dart in his chest?
Yeah, he does, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was really good. I really liked it. And Kevin Durand was Woodrue. So if you've got HBO Max, if it's still on HBO Max, I highly recommend checking it out. It was canceled too soon, but for all the right reasons. So
yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, so they built this swamp on a soundstage, and it was costing them $1.5 million to house it in the off season.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, they just built this huge fucking set on a soundstage. Really, really stupid.
Yeah.
But it's a good show. It's worth checking out. 10 episodes was enough, so.
Fair enough.
But, they like dark and damp swamps, and I also like some dark and damp things. Specifically, Strange Fellows Blackmail Stout.
Are we calling our beer damp now?
I mean, it's...
Consider how aggressively I drink my beer. My beard's always damp.
It's not far off these days, man. This beer is very difficult to do anything with.
I've given up on growing mine long. It just looks like shit, and I'm too lazy to properly manscape it.
Oh, yeah, there you go. There's the caveat.
That's it. The reason I have a beard is because I hate shaving. So I grow it long, and now I have to start trimming it. Oh, there's no winning.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, you could just grow a big bushy beard. You've only got to trim it 2 or 3 times to get it there, but you do have to.
Mine flares out in this big fluff. It doesn't navigate itself. Once it gets up to a certain length, I start to look like I have a brown steel wool attached to my face.
Right, but it's the fluff that you trim off, right? It's when I trim my beard, I don't have like a guard on the blade. I hold it and I trim from the side, so it makes it all even.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not using a comb or anything. To trim my beard, it takes 4 minutes. The cleanup takes 45 because I got to clean the bathroom. But
yeah, seriously.
If you just did it in the shower, if you can see your mirror from the shower and just did it in the bathtub, I think you'd be fine.
Beard hair is like getting a glitter bomb in the mail. You'll never be rid of it.
It's really tough. It's why I started putting beard balm in it every day. It keeps everything tight.
There you go.
All right. So these large shambling plants, what's the art do you think they are?
You said higher, you think, but not high enough, which, because my gut was telling me, these things are going to be a boring, like, CR3. I want them to be like a CR8, but I think they're going to be like a CR5 or 6.
You nailed it there, CR5.
Nailed it! Sorry, let me try that again. Nerd! You nerd yourself? Is that legit?
I feel like it should be if it's not.
You heard it here. You heard it here first. Nerding yourself is totally fine.
Yeah, totally fine. We are sitting on 136 HP and 15 natural armor, AC.
Mm-hmm.
They're large plants, though I'm sure they could grow to be gigantic if you wanted to homebrew it.
And I already do.
In 5th edition, they speak no languages. They do have damage resistance to cold and fire.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's probably because of where they are, like these damp, moist swamps. Like they just straight up just shrug it off because they're so used to the being in both cold and hot climates.
Yeah, that's fair.
They straight up have damage immunity to lightning.
Oh, okay. That's what created you, yeah.
And they're immune to deaf, blind, and exhaustion. But that's totally fair. They don't have eyes, they don't have ears, and why would they be exhausted? They move very, very slowly.
Right. And so they must have blind sight then?
They do. Blind sight 60 feet, and they have 20-foot land speed, 20-foot swim speed to reflect how slow and lumbering they are.
Okay, that's not that slow and lumbering. Dwarves move at 20.
I know, but dwarves are slow.
Well, they're just slower. That's not like Piercer's slow.
That's fair. That's
5 feet.
I guess we should put it into context, yeah.
Yeah. They're fast enough to be a threat, slow enough that you can run away.
Yeah, exactly. They have some pretty varied stats here with a +4 strength, -1 dex, +3 con, -3 int and charisma, and a 0 in wisdom. So that all adds up to me.
Yep, same.
Only one ability here, lightning absorption.
Oh, seriously? Because I was already thinking I would reinvigorate instead of just being immune to lightning.
Yep.
Is that what this is going to be?
That's exactly it. So when they take lightning damage, they take no damage and they regain health equal to the damage it would have taken.
Oh, equal. That's great.
Yeah.
Big fan. They should call it lightning reinvigoration. First homebrew, change the name.
Yep, perfect. I think you nailed it.
Important, yeah.
And they have a couple of attacks here. The first entry is multi-attack. They make 2 slam attacks, and if both hit a medium or smaller creature, that creature is then immediately grappled, and the Shambling Mound uses its engulf ability.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so grapple escape DC is 14, so it's not too high, but it's high enough.
Yeah,
that you
level
should be
5.
worried.
Yeah. 2 slam attacks. If both hit a medium or smaller creature that are grappled, and it uses engulf ability, is that direct wording, or have you trimmed that down a bit? Because that does not read it has to be the same creature that's hit both times.
Yeah, so it does have to hit the one creature both times.
Oh, it does. Okay.
Yeah. Right. And the slams are no slouch. They're a +7 to hit, 5-foot reach, 2d8 +4 bludgeoning.
Yep. No slouch at all.
And then if you get hit with both, you are immediately engulfed where you are blind, restrained, and unable to breathe.
Ooh, boy.
At the start of the Shambling Mound's turn, you must make a DC 15 con save or take another 2d8 +4 bludgeoning. If the mound moves, you move with it, and the mound can only have one creature engulfed at a time.
So that's like if the previous one was not clear, that clarifies one creature. Yeah. Because they can't hit 2 different creatures and pull them in at the same time because they can only hold one at a time.
Yeah,
cool.
they can hit 2 different creatures, but you have to hit a medium or smaller creature with the 2 slam attacks. Sometimes
those little, like, you have to go read ahead to something else to get clarification on the previous thing. Sometimes it's kind of annoying, but you always have to remind yourself that, like, they are kind of obligated to save space when publishing a book as best they can, because it costs them a lot of money the more they elaborate. So
yeah, and I trim these down too as we're going. So
yeah, fair enough.
It is much clearer in the book.
Okay, cool. Still, that's pretty neat. I didn't expect them to have Engulf, but I like that they do. I think that's cool. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess I did kind of expect after seeing the 5e art, but just initially, not really. There's not much thematically in everything we've said that really seems to lean towards that. I don't think, but
Yeah. So the way the Shambling Mound is positioned on the page of the monster manual, you can just barely see the creature that it's engulfing, to the point where I did not know it was engulfing a creature until I found this artwork.
oh really? Yeah.
Yeah, it's so good. I'm so excited to share this with the listeners.
I'm just pulling it up now in the monster manual, and you're so right. Like it's like just kind of tucked in there. it's much less obvious in the book than the full artwork that you found. Yeah,
for sure. And it's really, so if you have a physical copy of the book, it's really deep in the book as well. So the way the page, and it sits flat on the left, so the page from the right curls over almost the entire creature.
Yeah, it's like right in the seam. Yeah,
Yeah,
hilarious.
but that's it. That's it for the Shambling Mound. Stat block anyway.
Okay. Yeah. All right. My initial thoughts are, I'm still like not 100% sure about the cold and fire resistance. I'm not like gonna whine about it, but I get that a living plant is harder to sort of light on fire than say a dead dry one. But still enough heat can light a living forest or indoor swamp, surely.
I actually don't know about that. I don't know if enough fire could light a swamp. Like, swamps are really, really dank.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, maybe. Write in and let us know, listeners.
Yeah.
Have you ever lit a swamp on fire?
Botanists out there, or like,
or arsonists?
Horticulture. Pyromaniac arsonists in our listening group.
I'm sure we do. That's exactly the kind of audience that we cultivate.
Oh, God. Be careful of your Google searches, guys. If you're trying to find the answer, just be careful.
Use a VPN or maybe don't travel outside the country for a little while.
Yeah. The other one is, I don't know, cold. Like, cold seems, on the counterpoint to that, like we're talking about dank, wet swamps, surely cold would, like, maybe further slow it down at least, if not do normal damage or something. Like, right. Something that's like dank and wet and moist, and you're going to like sort of slow it down by solidifying some of that, would you not?
Yeah, so I hear what you're saying, but I need to point out that it is damage resistance, not damage immunity, so it does still take half. The second is that, the Shambling Mound isn't, this thing of roots, leaves and stuff. Like, these are just the things it packs on like a winter coat, so it can just shed like frozen leaves or frozen compote as it moves, because it is really just the root, the cerebral root structure that exists within this, shell, I guess.
Okay. I would almost,
that's my
to get overcomplicated, I would almost be like, if you hit it with cold, it's got resistance, but maybe it temporarily sheds some of its AC as a result, because the AC is based on natural armor. So it's like, it has to shake off some of that stuff in order to keep moving, or either that or it slows it down a little bit or something like that. I think playing with that would be kind of fun for anyone who likes to get complicated with it. But otherwise, like, yeah.
For every 15 cold damage it takes, it drops, 1 AC or something like that.
Yeah, it drops 1 AC. It either drops 1 AC or it takes a penalty to its speed. It has to choose, something like that.
Right. I like that. I don't think these creatures are going anywhere in a combat, really.
Yeah.
Like they're like they're very clearly ambush predators. Mm-hmm. Like, it's got a +2 to its stealth. Like, it's gonna wait for you to be all up ons before it.
See, that's such a good point, because this should have false appearance.
Yeah, I thought so too. And there are plenty of people online who also have homebrewed it with false appearance, because there's no reason it doesn't have false appearance.
Yeah, it should have false appearance, because, and then just read the Shambling Mound when still looks no more different than an ordinary mound.
Yeah.
And looks significantly less invigorated. Especially. Cool, yeah, false appearance. I'm glad we agree on that. And I'm glad someone's already picked up on the internet. Of course they have. Yeah.
Yeah, there are plenty of people out there who are better at this than us.
But we're doing it, so fuck you.
Yeah, I don't care that they're better.
I made an early note on and it's very, very, very much attached to that idea of false appearance. In that, I don't know if this is on a druid spell list per se, and I don't know if like 5e really divides up in like sort of styles of magic. Like Pathfinder has done like primal, occult, arcane, divine, and then you have your schools of magic still, where you have like evocation and necromancy and that sort of thing. So when it says fey magic, my brain goes to primal for Pathfinder, and let's say a druid in the party and happens to use some sort of lightning magic, particularly something like chain lightning in a swamp fighting another creature like a troll. Okay. And I would totally make that jump into a hidden shambling mound and like spring it to life, essentially.
Yeah, that could be fun.
And it was like lying dormant. It wasn't waiting. It had already been struck by lightning, but that lightning gives it this extra reinvigoration to like, it speed up its process, like I'd said earlier. And it's like both the fact that it's lightning and the fact that it's like possibly a fey related magic, or at least a wild sort of like nature based kind of magic. And and I would make that almost like a very, very unlikely but totally possible extra hazard and danger to an encounter that's just sort of sitting in the background.
Yeah, I like it. I think that's great.
Yeah, and these creatures are simple enough that they can be run as a quick add to and slow enough as well that they can be quickly add to it. To add danger, but without like really, really like setting it sky high if the players are playing right.
Yeah, so I'll add a link to this website that I found called Dungeon Solvers, and they did a Monster Monday on the Shambling Mound, and that's very similar to one of the plot hooks that they came up with, where they call it When Lightning Strikes. And it's
cool.
a terrifying roar came from the swamp after a lightning storm last night.
Awesome, I love it. The other one is I only have one more note, and it is that lack of rejuvenation that it's specified in the lore. And that was 5e lore, right?
Forgotten Realms lore.
Forgotten Realms, okay.
Oh, no, sorry, that is 5e lore. It's the paragraph is called Resurgent Menace.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, it should have some sort of rejuvenation. Spoiler alert, my next episode will touch on that. And rejuvenation as an ability is quite simple. It's really quite simple, it is that like if, hit 0 hit points, you collapse. But unless certain steps are taken within an hour or whatever time frame you want to place on it, you fully reassemble or whatever, and you're back to full health. So you could just quickly slap that onto this creature and say after 24 hours or 10 hours or even just like 2 hours or something like that.
Okay.
But it comes back full health or, whatever suits you best. I think, but it's a very simple thing to add, and I think that's very strange that it's not there, given that's in the lore.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that's such a simple.
And given that I know it exists in another creature already, probably several others as well. But like literally, the next creature I'm covering covers it in the same way. When it's destroyed after a certain amount of time, it'll come back.
Right.
So it already exists. They've just not put it here for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we can keep citing the necessity of simplifying 5e. Also, like I don't know if that needs to be a mechanic. Like what value is it if it takes that much time?
I don't see that as a mechanic. I see it as a optional tactic and or plot point. Like, they might destroy this. Maybe you encounter these things around some very important cairn stones or a stale air or something like that that's in the swamp, and you find some information there, and you fight these things, and you've got to go, but you've got to come back, right? But if you didn't roll your knowledge check appropriately to know that these things need to be disposed of after defeating, like they need to be like lit on fire, or their roots need to be separated from each other, or some such. Then when you come back, you're going to just have to fight them all over again.
Yeah, I hear you. But if we're talking about, an ability or an attack, that would be classified under a mechanic. Mm-hmm. And I might have more to say in your next episode, because I'm not familiar with the rejuvenation mechanic at all, or rejuvenation ability, or whatever we want to call it. So I'm excited to see what that leads down. But as far as I'm concerned, like, it doesn't. Doesn't need to be there. It's in the lore. Read the fucking page. It's the very bottom of the page. So even if you skim the body, you're gonna hit that and just be like, oh, yeah. Well, if they don't proper kill it, I can just bring it back from the dead again.
Yeah. We used to have a section in our notes for the comparison of the real world lore and the D&D lore, and then we kind of also did a little bit of like, do the mechanics reflect the lore that's given, and we've kind of melded all that together. Some of it's like as we go, and then a lot of it's now in like sort of our sort of loose homebrew section.
Yeah. If there's a creature directly related, I do my best to make an effort on that section, but I'm comparing this to comic book creatures. Like, they're not the same at all.
Yeah. So it just stands out glaringly to me because, like, it's in the lore, but it's not in the stat block. So the stat block is not fully reflecting what's in that lore, and that bothers me. And my biggest beef with 5e has been for a while, and it still is, that there's not enough detailed support given to the GM. And you have to go searching for it yourself. So I think it's important for that to be in the stat block, because just because it's in the lore doesn't mean, the GM can assume and do what they will. Like, just give support. It's easier to nix something from the stat block than it is to add it, because when you're constantly feeling like you have to add things, that becomes a tiresome, tedious slog, especially when you have so much to prepare. So that's where I stand on that.
Yeah, that's a valid point.
And I'm giving my snooty face now.
No, that's cool. I get it. I respect it. I respectfully disagree. Mm-hmm. Like, the stat block is for use during combat. Mm-hmm. Like, if it's my cliff notes of what this creature is. It's not what this creature is or all of their abilities. That's why the lore is there. Like, I like 5e stat blocks more than I like Pathfinder stat blocks because they're so clean and simple. Mm-hmm. I do think you're right. There needs to be more support for the dungeon master, but I don't agree in this. I don't think this is the case where I would add it. But I mean, fuck, there's space on the page. There's no reason they couldn't fucking add it.
Right? Yeah,
it exists.
Adding to that, yeah,
you're right. You're absolutely right. It's a mechanic that exists. There's no fucking reason why it's not there.
Right. That's just another thing to add to that. Right. It already exists. You've just not put it here where you should have. And you have the space. Like, it's just, it seems like an oversight, like a very obvious oversight at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Also, quick question. Have you looked at many of the second edition stat blocks?
I've looked at a few. Okay. I ran that one game. I'm not comfortable with it enough to make a comment on how I feel about them.
Sure, yeah. They are just like, I mean, they're still more detailed than 5e by a long shot, but they're much cleaner than Pathfinder first editions were.
Yeah, the 1e ones were rough.
Yeah, the Starfinder ones were just like the 1e ones, and they're just, the higher you get, the more you're like, what, how, what, huh? It's like paragraph upon paragraph. Like, some abilities have 3 paragraphs to them. You're like, why? Just like, what have you done here? It gets absurd. So anyway, 2E's done a cleaner job for sure, but they still do get a little bit complicated.
Yeah, we'll figure that out when we get there. Yeah, I don't have much. I would. So I've never run one. I've always kind of wanted to. I've had like them prepared before, but I just never got the case where I would run one, or I felt the combat was going the right way, so I didn't add it in. I would never use these creatures as like the main combat. I have kind of always wanted to run one as like an animal companion to a druid, like their awaken ceremony went sideways, and instead of awakening a shrub, they awakened a shambling mound, and they just have this real shitty animal companion that's just trying to eat everything as it goes by.
My brain's going a little wild right now because I'm thinking about an Underdark adventure, because it just did Ropers and Piercers, and like, you're in the Underdark, or whatever you call it, Darklands, and you find your way into a place where like there are these big obvious roots coming down through the ground, coming down way too far, like way farther than they should. And remember I talked about that roper idea when it got like really, really massive and it's literally a column in a massive cavern. It can't even move from its place anymore. You know, like maybe it's that room. Maybe it's like these roots are coming down. You're like, how can they possibly be this deep? And even then you find a way that leads into the roots. And suddenly you find yourself not just in rocky caverns, but like root caverns, and you're like, what is this? And then you finally get to the top and you have like these various sized and different CR versions of the Shambling Mound, and then it all culminates into the fact that like the swamp that you finally find yourself in is it's actually like, you know, you're still in a cave, you're still underground, but you're in a cavern, such an incredible cavernous place that there's a full-on swamp within, and it turns out you're on the inside of the biggest, oldest Shambling Mound ever to exist, and there's a swamp on top of it as well on the surface, and like if it for some reason decided to move, it would be like one of those, like a dragon turtle, like something with like an entire nation on its back,
right?
Like something just absurd, like kaiju-esque, you know, and it like
level shit.
Yeah, right. and like Shambling Mounds in it are not leaching from the earth. They're leaching from the giant Shambling Mound. You know, that's just like absorbed so many nutrients at this point that it's laying dormant until it's hungry enough again that it needs to move or something totally insane.
I mean, that's what this game's for. I love it.
Yeah.
I think that's great. I feel a little bad for shooting so low at like the shitty animal companion now, but I still really love that idea. Like this, like you're in battle and you try and command it, but the GM just takes control of it and it's only motivation. Like you just always roll it like it's confused. So every turn you roll a d6 and like you waste your action to command it. It just like tries to eat your boot or something like that. Like it's this really tiny Shambling Mound. You just always smell bad.
Yeah. You've learned to keep your boots clear of anything like nutritious to it at all times. Right. It's like, why is your character constantly like, you know, like almost obsessive compulsively cleaning your boots?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to get this little shit to do what I tell it.
I think that'd be fun.
The only other thing is like you almost get like a hive mind-esque vibe from this creature idea. But I think there's enough hive mind stuff out there that it doesn't have to apply.
I see
but like
what you're saying.
because my brain's like, you know, root systems, you know, how massively connected they can be, you know, how like mushrooms can sometimes be known to like, you know, not just be these single individual organisms or just little patches. Like they underground, they spread an extraordinary amount. There's that forest of aspen trees. I forget the name of it. It's like 100 acres worth of the same single male tree organism. It's like a whole like section of a forest. It's like this extraordinary thing. So just, the larger it gets, the more I think hive mind, you know, if you go that route.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, the lore specifically says the roots detach and that's how they move around. But
right.
I think these are just supposed to be a gelatinous cube for the outdoors. So I don't go that route.
Yeah.
They're the same CR. They're the same engulfability. Like they're just a swamp G cube, which is probably why I like them so much.
Yeah. To be fair, I'm also gearing into myconid territory with like spores and their hive mind via those. I don't know if it's hive mind per se, but like they're able to communicate through the spores, at least as far as I recall.
I think there's a level of mind control there too.
Yeah. So we've not covered them, and I think they would be a sizable episode. Maybe a sweet, but maybe not. But yeah, they're pretty detailed.
Big. There's only like 2 or 3 pages.
That'll be a fun one to cover soon, I think.
All yours, bud. I got no interest.
Oh no!
Unless somebody decides to pay $10 for me to cover it.
Someone just ups their subscription. Like James has to cover it now. Damn it!
Yeah, sure. I mean, I'd cover it. Like, there's no creatures that I dislike, as far as I know. I got no, like, there's a little bit of them in Rime of the Frost Maiden, and they're so uninteresting. I'm so glad you guys just glossed over that bit. Like, or I find them very uninteresting.
Okay, fair enough. And here's there's a certain irony in that because you love mushrooms, right? Like just to eat like as a cuisine. And food?
The food. I quite enjoy.
And I can't stand them. Like I try them like every few months just to like see if I can. I tried one not that long ago, and I cannot eat a mushroom. And but here we are with these fungal spore things, and you couldn't be fucked with them. And I'm like, yeah, they're kind of cool though.
Yeah, I'm sure. It's like all D&D creatures. There's something in there that's interesting.
Yeah,
or otherwise they wouldn't have made it to Monster Manual. And I'm sure they did a great job of it. But I just they don't look cool enough for me to want to look into them. You know?
Oh yeah.
I just think they look kind of goony.
Judging a book by its cover. Twice by this episode. Nailed it.
It's a picture book. Like, get over it.
The lesson I'm taking away from this, though, is that, and everyone should who's listening, James is for sale. Just so you know.
Yeah, of course I'm for sale.
You give him money, he'll do it. You do it.
Yeah, and if you want to give me money, you can go to patreon.com/encounter this. For that $10 a month, you can suggest a creature, and I guess if you want me to cover it, you can get me to cover it. I'm sure there's a Lord of the Rings RPG out there if you want me to cover. I don't know, whatever dumb Lord of the Rings shit you want me to cover. If that's too rich for your blood, $5 a month, it gets you a handwritten thank you letter, access to show notes. I included a bunch of cool links in this one, specifically like to Dick Durock and like his stuff and all that good stuff. And that gets you access to a private Discord, so you have a literal direct line to the two of us at any time, day or night, and some of our patrons use it. You know, you can get that for even $1 a month on patreon.com, or if that's too much, you can find us on Twitter at EncounterPod, Facebook at EncounterPod, or Instagram at Encounter.pod, where you can see some of these cool artworks. We'll throw up that Derek Mears swamp thing and that really old swamp thing and a couple of these man things. And we'll throw up the heap because it's a really, really fun photo. So you can find all that over there. If you want to find anything else, any of our past episodes, you can find that on encounterthis.ca, specifically the Pearson and the Roper, like we did last week. And I don't know. What do you guys think? Should the Shambler have resistance to cold damage? How would you homebrew it into an animal companion? How would you write an adventure about this? Like we absolutely want to hear from you. I want
to hear about how that segue we just had was the best we've had probably ever on this show.
I know. I'm not as tired as I normally am, but I promise you I'll go back to my bad ones next week. I promise. I feel like both my segues this week were really good. The one into the blackmail and then this one.
The blackmail one was sketchy.
But I mean better than normal.
You're not wrong. Sketchy is generous.
A little bit smoother. 2 years and I'm finally settling into a groove. But I promise you they'll be bad next week. Or 2 weeks from now, or whenever the fuck this show comes out, in our first episode of 2022.
Ooh. How appropriate that'll be covering a creature with rejuvenation in the new year.
Oh, Jesus, right. Got it. I 100% thought you were going to go with like an eating Christmas tree thing. Like I really almost included Tree Venge in this episode.